What's up, guys? Armando Science here, and in this video I'm going to share with you guys the biggest lesson that I learned when I was around 10 years old about really life and in business in general, only I didn't know it yet. So when I was 10 years old, I went to a camp. This is one of those 2 or 3 day camps that you just go and hang out and do things like canoeing and hiking and mountain biking, etc. When I got to this camp, we broke out into groups. And my group, unfortunately, got paired up with what everyone else was calling the worst camp guide ever, or the worst camp guide leader. This guy had a reputation of being lazy, of not really caring, of just sort of wanting, just being there because he needed a job and not really enjoying what it was that he was doing. Well, on day number 2, we get handed this worksheet because we have to do still some work. We handed this worksheet of math problems to solve. And our little group has got to work out the math problems. They want to see the work that's being done along with the answer. He hands us this worksheet and he tells us, I'm going to give you guys the answer to these problems. And for the work, you just fill in whatever numbers you want. It doesn't really matter. And we all kind of looked at him and said, hey, if we do this, aren't we all going to fail? Isn't this wrong? Should we be working out these problems anyways? And his answer is what actually changed my perspective on a lot of things and was responsible for the success that I had not only with companies, but through schooling. He said, that doesn't really matter. What these guys want to see is the final answer. So you working out the problem is not going to matter because nobody is going to check the actual work. They just want to check the final result. He said, if you learn to give people what they want, they will leave you alone. And it was a very valuable lesson for us. We did the work that he said, and the very next day when the papers came back, we were all shocked to find out that we all had passed. We made 100 on this math worksheet. So when I went back to school the following year, I worked really hard at figuring out what my teachers wanted, how they wanted things delivered, and what they wanted, and I just gave it to them. All I really had to do was listen. I remember being in school and history teachers would say, I want this work done, in double space. I want it put in this format and I want it delivered by this date. That's really all that I had to focus on. Everything else was just a complete waste of time. As a result, it made schooling a lot easier for me and it made life a lot easier for me. This is how I was able to position myself through my corporate life as one of the most valuable assets for almost every organization that I went into. It's because I tried to figure out what my boss wanted, what the executives wanted, what my internal customers wanted, and then I gave them exactly what they wanted. You see, later on in life when I was starting my SEO agency, I struggled a lot to sell myself and sell my services. I was selling SEO, I was selling Facebook ads, I was selling Google My Business listings, I was selling all kinds of things. And I was having a really hard time until I heard this quote from somebody, and I cannot remember who I heard this from. They said, sell people what they want, then deliver what they need. And it was at that moment in time that I could connect the dots. It was like I was back in camp being that 10-year-old kid when I first learned this concept. You see, what I was doing wrong when I first started my agency was that I was trying to sell people what they needed, what I thought they needed. More SEO, more Facebook ads, more website redesigns. Nobody wants that stuff. No business owner wants SEO. No business owner wants a redesign of their website or a flyer or anything else. The only thing that these guys are interested in is 2 things: more leads, more sales. So if you can find a way to sell what they want and then deliver what they need through SEO, through Facebook ads, through a website redesign, then the process is going to be a lot easier. And that's exactly what happened to me. The moment I stopped selling SEO and I started listening to what these people wanted, it was not even like selling. I just became the obvious choice. So the lesson here is, if you're struggling in your agency, find out exactly what your sales process looks like right now. Are you selling what people want, or are you selling what you think they need?